The frame of Gene Hackman, his partner, and their canine have been determined in their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico, on the age of 60. Gene Hackman's daughter, Elizabeth G. Hackman, has in the end damaged her silence, surely days after the well-known actor's dying. For years, the Hackman-owned family has saved their non-public life out of the public eye. However, now that her father has died, she's speaking out to affirm the rumors which have been going spherical be part of us as we study her emotional revelation and find the truth about the lifestyles and legacy of one among Hollywood's most cherished stars. Gene Hackman. Actor Gene Hackman and his spouse Betsy Arasa have been decided useless in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home on February 26, 2025. The couple, on the aspect of really considered one of their three cherished puppies, had lived a protracted and outstanding life. A renovation employee stunned determined the bodies after they arrived on the residence and known as 911 proper away deputies from the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office quickly arrived and positioned that the worker had closing spoken to the couple about 2 weeks before the grim discovery, which made them wonder how lengthy they had been useless, even as the deputies arrived. They observed Hackman's frame in the dirt row of the basement residence. In a totally awful way of breaking down, Arawa's frame became a comparable frame, became placed in a close-by relaxation room, together with pharmaceuticals for immoderate blood strain and thyroid problems to make things even extra complicated. One in every of their puppies, a German Shepherd, come to be determined, vain in a closet near Araka, but 2 different dogs were determined alive on the belongings, giving human beings desire inside the midst of the tragedy. Deputies from the sheriff's office who had been there said, Hackman appeared to have all at once. Each bodies were found with similar accidents, suggesting that they will have died the identical manner. It become also said that both may additionally have died several days or maybe up to 2 weeks before they have been found. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department responded brief, pronouncing on February 27th that there were no clear signs of foul play, but the real cause and time of loss of life were, though unknown. Fire department officers inspected the property and discovered no signs and symptoms of a carbon monoxide leak, ruling that out as a probable cause. The sheriff's office began an investigation into the deaths. However, there are nonetheless plenty of questions that need to be answered. The preliminary autopsy reports did now not display any symptoms of external trauma to each Hackman or Arawaka, but it turned into easy that natural mummification had already began to happen by the time their our bodies have been located. Extra exams and investigations showed no proof of carbon monoxide poisoning, and on February 28th, it changed into confirmed that each humans tested awful for it, getting information from Hackman's pacemaker located that he in all likelihood died on February 17th, nearly 2 weeks earlier than his body become placed. This revelation has given investigators greater questions as they try to piece collectively the data of this tragic and mysterious event. What does his daughter have to mention about the purpose of his mysterious loss of life? Permits discover Elizabeth G. Hackman's family believes she died of carbon monoxide poisoning. The middle baby of well-known actor John Hackman and high-sex spouse F. Maltz has spoken out about the tragic deaths of her father and his spouse, Betsy Arakawa. The couple modified into determined useless of their domestic in Santa Fe, New Mexico, on February 26th, sparking each grief and hypothesis in the circle of relatives in an distinct interview with TMZ. Elizabeth, 60, talked about what her family thinks may also additionally have introduced on their untimely deaths. 7, though the decent investigation is, although ongoing, to discover what happened of loss of life. Elizabeth and her siblings anticipate that carbon monoxide poisoning may additionally were in charge. The police had been known as to the couple's home after friends asked for a welfare test and observed that G. Hackman, 995, and 1 in every of their 3 dogs had all died as a minimum a day in advance. It is nevertheless no longer clean. Why the neighbor called for a test, and there are not any symptoms of foul play in the interim in step with Sheriff Aden Mendoza, due to the fact the investigation continues. The truth that there may be no at once evidence of a crime does not mean that now not something is occurring. Elizabeth did not supply any specifics about her father's health, but it's Miles regarded that in his closing public look almost a year in the past, Gene Hackman became seen the use of a cane to get around. Similarly to Elizabeth, Gene Hackman is survived with the useful resource of his oldest son, Christopher, and his more youthful daughter, Leslie. He and Betsy Aracana did now not have any children together. However, coping with their grief and making the important plans for Aor Memorial. Issuer Elizabeth Leslie. Her granddaughter Annie and their father Gene Hackman paid tribute to their loved ones in a heartfelt declaration to Parade. They stated, "It's miles with top-notch sadness that we announce the passing of our father Gene Hackman and his partner Betsy. He come to be loved and outstanding with the aid of millions of people around the world for his brilliant acting profession. But Taos he modified into normally absolutely dad and grandpa. We will omit him sorely and are devastated via manner of the news despite the fact that Gene became well-known and can be remembered for a long term in Hollywood. The circle of relatives stays sad, approximately their loss as they undergo this difficult time. The studies into their deaths keeps and the Hackman circle of relatives is maintaining without delay to wish for answers, whilst they plan the way to honor their cherished owns. G. Hackman have become one in each of Hollywood's exceptional actors, and his loss is felt deeply through each his family and the many fans who loved him. The mystery surrounding his death adds to the own family's grief, however they are, despite the fact that targeted on helping each different and finding peace inside the course of this difficult time. Elizabeth I. Of the overdue icon's daughters' lives, a non-public lifestyles far from, the highlight permits take a look at greater approximately her Elizabeth G. Hackman modified into born in August 962, and is the daughter of the well-known actor G. Hackman and his first partner Faye. Steady with the New York Post, Elizabeth is the center. Little one of three, her older brother Christopher Allen and greater youthful sister Leslie Jean Hackman. Additionally, from the same own family, Elizabeth and FMT's marriage become an essential part of each in their lives, but it led to divorce years in advance than Foss's dying in 2017, irrespective of her father's fame. Elizabeth has saved a very private life, not often going public, however. Like many famous youngsters, she did make appearances with her father at Benny Humans, even as many human beings noticed Elizabeth at specific activities. When she modified into more youthful, as an example, she becomes Zine along with her father at the 1978 screening of the well-known movie Supermanin, which he carried out the lead role of Lex Luthor. Every other critical event she attended turned into the 196. Best of the film, The Chamber, which starred G. Hackman, because then Elizabeth has stayed out of the highlight and her personal lifestyles is usually unknown to the public, much like that of her siblings. They pick out to stay low-key lives far from the media's interest. They don't want their non-public lives to be known to the public just so. They do no longer make many public statements or appearances. This choice has delivered to the thriller surrounding them, as there is not and lousy lot information, approximately their relationships, non-public lifestyles, or activities. As an example, it is no longer clear if Elizabeth, her brother Christopher, or her sister Leslie are married or within the event that they use social media. Like many people these days, Hackman become famous for his roles in movies like The French Connection and Unforgiven. However, he also kept his privacy. After his marriage to Faye Maltz, ended he met and married his tude wife, Betsy Arakawa. They have been together for over 30 years and stay a quiet lifestyles some distance from the busy Hollywood scene. Aman died in his 90th, having long on the grounds that retired from acting to spend time with Arakawa and stay a peaceful, non-public existence in a massive town in a global, in which famous children frequently want to be in the public eye. The Hackman children alongside Elizabeth have selected a specific course. They fee privacy and discretion over reputation, and their choice to stay out of the spotlight shows that they need a existence unfastened from media intrusion, similar to how their father selected to leave the limelight after his successful profession. At the same time as G. Hackman's career can also have earned him a place in Hollywood records, his youngsters, which includes Elizabeth, have chosen a unique direction in their very own quiet, unassuming methods. They've made a name for themselves, displaying that no longer all of us is destined for reputation, irrespective of what their dad and mom did. Permits have a look at G. Hackman's journey to stardom, the reluctant megastar who conquered Hollywood. In 1956. Hackman took a risk and started studying performing, enrolling at the Pasadena Playhouse in California. It ended up there that he met Dustin Hoffman, who modified into also looking to turn out to be an actor. Hackman's classmates even voted him the least, in all likelihood, to succeed. He were given the lowest scar the faculty had ever given him, which can have crushed everybody's dreams. However, Hackman did now not surrender as an alternative. He used it as motivation to show everyone wrong. He packed his luggage and moved to New York City, in which he struggled to make meet at the same time as chasing his dreams. There, he have become near with fellow actors, Dustin Hoffman and Robert Duvall, and shared small houses with them as all of them tried to break into the industrial organization. In the end came in 1970 with I Never Observed My Father, which got him a nomination for an Academy Award. However, it modified into The French Connection in 1971, in which he finished tough New York detective Jimmy Papy Gorge Doyle and received the award for super actor, solidifying his area as considered one of Hollywood's fantastic. From then on, Hackman have become unstoppable. Inside the early 1970s, he became in hit films like The Scarecrow, which won the celebrated Palme d'Or, and The Verbal Exchange. He even showed off his in 1974, he played a comedic position in Young Frankenstein, displaying that he wasn't just an extreme dramatic actor, but moreover had a sense of humor while he labored with a number of the largest stars of the time, like Morgan Freeman in Under Suspicion, Keanu Reeves in The Replacements, and Owen Wilson in Behind Enemy Lines. In 2001's The Royal Tenenbaums, Hackman played the eccentric patriarch of a dysfunctional family and won a Golden Globe for Best Actor, proving as soon as again that he have to manipulate any role. In 2004, Hackman determined to prevent acting. His remaining movie, Welcome to Mooseport, was a lighthearted comedy that was very wonderful from his darker roles. Fanatics was hoping he would possibly come again to The Huge Display. However, Hackman stated in an interview in 2008 that he was indeed retired. Concerns from clinical docs approximately the pressure performing turned into setting on his coronary heart executed a huge function in his choice. Even after leaving Hollywood, Hackman stayed busy in different approaches. He commenced writing and published numerous novels. Additionally, came back in brief to narrate Marine Corps documentaries in 6 and 2017, a true Hollywood legend. Gene Hackman built his career on sturdiness, raw abilities, and an unwavering strength of will to show the doubters incorrect. He went from being a suffering actor modified into voted least likely to prevail to becoming one of the most reliable actors of all time, one of the finest performers of all time. His legacy is considered one of hard painting, excellence, and unforgettable performances. You can say that his youth prepared him for stardom. He changed into capable of make a name for himself via way of navigating the United States and downs of existence permits. Look at the data of his early existence. Eugene Allen Hackman, higher known as G. Hackman, was born on January 31st, 1930 in San Bernardino, California. In Anita, Eugene Ezra Hackman changed into born to Elizabeth Ney, and his circle of relatives which protected. His brother Richard became used to transferring round. Eugene's mom became from Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, and the Hackman circle of relatives moved round lots while he grew to be younger. Ultimately, they settled in Annville, Illinois, where they lived together. Together with his English-born maternal grandmother, Barbara. Eugene's father worked as a printing press operator on the local newspaper business enterprise, but own family lifestyles have become whatever. However, sturdy Hackman knew at age 10 that he desired to be an actor. But his youngsters emerge as tough. His parents divorced even as he modified into 13 years vintage, and his father, in the end, left the own family. Irrespective of these problems, Hackman stayed decided to look at his appearing desires. He spent his sophomore year at Storm Lake High School. However, his time there has been reduced quick, even as he left home at 16 to serve his USA Hellied about his age and joined the United States Army as AALE radio operator in the USA Marine Corps. Hackman emerged as sent far from home, first to China, in which he was stationed in Chongqing, after which in Shanghai, how his military provider became not without change, whilst the communists took over mainland China. In 1949, Hackman became dispatched to Hawaii and Japan as an opportunity. After 4.5 years of company, he turned into discharged in 1951 and moved to New York City. To begin over there, he did a number of extraordinary jobs whilst he tried to discover his toes in the massive town. However, in 1962, his mom tragically died in a fireplace she started out while smoking. Despite those setbacks, Hackman, in no way out of place sight of his goals, he decided to use the GI invoice to have a observe on the University of Illinois to pursue a career in journalism and TV production. His time there was quick, although he dropped out in advance than completing his degree. Undeterred, Hackman made his way lower back to California, in which his direction to Hollywood fame began. Early in life, Gene Hackman had an entire lot of problems and had to make quite a few non-public and professional adjustments, but he became decided and pushed, and he went on to become one of the maximum well-known and flexible actors in Hollywood, earning many awards for his iconic roles in movies. His tale is one in every of passion, perseverance, and following your goals no matter lifestyles' many challenges. What modified into his private existence, like especially along with his circle of relatives permits discover out superstar actor Serenity, Jen Hackman had a tremendous journey on and rancid the display marked. By using the usage of two well-known marriages that changed his private existence in considered one of a type techniques in 1956. Hackman married femme-adult males starting a 31-year dating that brought them three youngsters, a son named Christopher Allen and two daughters named Elizabeth G. and Leslie Hackman. Whilst their circle of relatives grew, Hackman's busy movie career saved him away from home loads. Hackman stayed in crucial a part of his kids' lives, even though his profession in Hollywood stored him far away from domestic hundreds. Unluckily, after nearly 30 years, together the couple divorced in 1986. However, Hackman's non-public life didn't give up there in 1991. He married Betsy Arakawa, a talented classical pianist who was born in 1959 and was a part of Hackman's lifestyles. The couple positioned a domestic in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which have come to be their sanctuary. Their assets, which have become perched on pinnacle of a 12-acre hill, had a terrific view of the surrounding panorama. The view went tall, the manor around displaying the majestic beauty of the Sangre de Cristo and Sandia. Mountain degrees their domestic, which become featured in Architectural Digest in 1990, modified into a real reflection in their shared love for splendor, lifestyle, and the arts. The couple's life in Santa Fe turned into Hackman, a longtime fan of lifestyle, and the arts, persevered to be an active member of the Sant F community prolonged. When they moved there, going to many cultural events in the vicinity. His lifestyles with AOA appeared to be a non-violent and pleasant stability after Hackman's a long term in the highlight. Hackman's marriage to AOA lasted till her loss of life in 2025, and during that point that they had built a lifestyles of shared passions and mutual recognize. Regardless of his fame, Hackman stayed involved in Santa Fe's rich cultural scene. After he stopped appearing, he often interacted with the artists that he and his spouse had grown to like. Gene Hackman's journey via marriage and circle of relatives shows a person who, despite the depth of Hollywood fame, usually sought to discover a quiet grounding stability in his private life from the demanding conditions of raising children while being away on set. Out to his later years filled with paintings and peace in New Mexico. Hackman's life is a testimony to your private and professional boom. What do you consider G. Hackman's daughter eventually confirming the rumors? Allow us to comprehend within the remarks beneath and bear in mind to like and follow